Join me for a Sunday reset that is not about having it all together and doing everything. It's just about taking a few moments for self-care and to set myself up for success during the week. If you're anything like me, we spend so much time making sure everyone else is taken care of that taking care of ourselves can easily become an afterthought. Hey, I'm Allie. I'm a mom of two. I'm a healthcare worker, and I have a lot of creative hobbies that I love to do in my free time. But lately, I've really been trying to work on taking better care of myself, not in some huge life overhaul kind of way, but by implementing little moments of self-care in small ways that actually fit into my life. And I don't mean bubble baths and spa days. I mean the really basic stuff, like feeding myself well, moving my body, making time for things that I enjoy, and actually paying attention to how I feel. So I'm working on prioritizing my mental and physical health, but I know myself. I have a ton of creative hobbies that occupy a lot of my free time, which is not a lot of free time. I also have ADHD, so I need to keep the barrier of entry very low when I'm working on trying to eat better and move more. So we are not aiming for perfection. We are aiming for progress. It is A for effort type vibes over here. So today I'm meal prepping, except that it's girl lunch. So I'm not sure if that really qualifies for meal prepping because there is no cooking involved, which makes it my favorite. I am cutting up some boiled eggs, the kind that are already boiled because that's a huge time saver. I'm prepping some cheese and crackers, pickles, ranch. I'm making my ranch with a little bit of Greek yogurt for some extra protein, and then carrots and peppers. Hopefully, if I have my life together enough, I'll get some fruit washed to throw in there too. If you're wondering why I'm moving the cheese and the crackers around, it's because I realized I need the crackers to be in the little cubby thing to keep them from getting soggy, not the cheese. I was tired. I actually really love all these things and I look forward to eating them for lunch. Another thing that I'm setting up for the week are the pages in my health and wellness journal. This is something new to my routine that I'm still kind of working out the kinks for, but it is super exciting for me because I love all things pen and paper, and I actually get very excited about tracking things in here instead of having to open my phone and use an app to track my meals and calories and habits. I recently got this Paper Republic Lay Portfolio in the A6 size in the color Botany Green, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I do have a small charm on the side, and I have another in order that I will add to it soon. On the inside, I have my Twisby Eco in this pocket and a Sterling Ink notebook in camel that has a clear cover on it. So this is a new routine, like I mentioned, and I've been kind of working through and troubleshooting what I want to track in here and how I want to track it. So this first week, I set up this kind of Hobonichi week style setup, and I think I actually saw this setup in Little Coco Studios video, and I was trying to track sleep and habits here, but I didn't love tracking things here and then logging my food on a different page. I realized I kind of just like having things all on one page, and so I quickly realized that this setup didn't work for me. I did try to track like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks several days at a time on these pages, and also realized that I just hate the way that this looks, so this didn't work great for me either. This was a day that I was kind of playing around with my setup, and you can see I kind of just doodled my habits here instead of using my stamps because I didn't have my stamps with me at the time. But I found that I do really like this setup, and so this is what I'm going to set up again for this coming week. I like to write at the top with this Tombow Fudenosuke pen, I think is how you say it. And so I just write the day of the week and then put the date on there. I have my habits and meals written down and kind of the basic page set up ready to go. So now I'm going to add some of my stamps that I love to use. I love stamps so much, and it just makes me happy and brings me so much joy to get to use these. I know to some people this would feel like a big chore, but sitting down and like watching a comfort show while I have a candle burning and just taking this little bit of time to myself really does make me happy. It's part of my self-care routine. So, and then I also set up these little circles to track my mood and then my aura scores for the day and keep track of those, because I sometimes let my activity score get really low. And when I notice it getting really low, it is a huge motivator for me to work at getting that back up, even if it's just in little small ways. I'm going to start stamping my habits that I'm tracking in here. And you can see like the first one is to weigh myself, and then the next one is a shoe. That means going on a walk. And then the weight is obviously weight training. And I'm stamping these on every single day, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm aiming to do them every single day. I'm aiming for a couple times a week on most of these things. Except for my medication. I do try to take that every day. Also, you'll see that some of these things in here are not necessarily health and wellness related. I'm thinking about moving them over to my planner. So like the mixer is my reminder to feed my sourdough starter. And I feel like I would actually remember to do that more and do a better job of that if it's in my planner. And the same thing with like the little money icon. That is to review our budget and categorize, the transactions that we've made over the last day or two. The camera icon is my daily photo clean out. Of course, the mail is email. The fork and knife is if I completed writing down all of my meals or tracking my meals in some way. The phone is for my brick. I do try to brick my phone certain times of day because, like I said, I do have ADHD, and I find that just really helps me stay focused on whatever task I'm trying to focus on. And then I try to journal or sit down at my desk and do some sort of creative activity every day. And then the little Kindle is for reading at night. So I will set up the next couple of days in this tracker. Like I said, I'm not aiming for perfection here. I just want to aim for progress. I want this journal to be a place where I can notice progress that has nothing to do with the number on the scale. Maybe when I'm looking back at my food log, I notice that I got in a good amount of protein and fiber every single day, or I was able to work out 3 times that week and take the dogs for a walk 5 times that week. I am trying to learn that in this season of life, that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be dramatic. I can just make little choices every single day to prioritize my health and my well-being.